note. If I get the smart board back up there. Alright, you had 13 t to the negative third over t to the fifth times, have a little dot there, 4 over t to the fifth. Alright, I worked on this one with Austin a little bit yesterday, and I'm missing a power. It also had a -2 outside that parentheses. And that was the first thing we figured out we needed to do, was distribute that -2 power to everything. Now, you might start yours off a little different, write it a little different, but as long as we still don't mess up, we'll be alright. If I distribute that -2 to everything, I'm going to have 13 to the -2. And then on the t, power...
Coach Wright?
Yes?
Do you have Austin Harclaw, Mallory Steele, or Valentina Robinson?
I have Austin and Valentina.
I need both of them, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then on the t is power to a power, so you'd be multiplying. -3 times -2 would make 6 on that. Okay, then the same thing on the bottom, distribute it to the bottom. 5 and -2 would make -10. And then I decided before I went over to the 4 to go ahead and simplify that. The t's, when it's division, you subtract the powers. So 6 minus -10 is 16. So since it's a positive 16, that'll go on top. And then on this 13, since it's a -2, it'll go on bottom. And at first I was figuring out what 13 squared was, 169, but then I looked at the choices. They left it almost 13 squared. So I'm good on, I've simplified everything on this piece as much as I can. Now it says to multiply that by 4 over t to the fifth. So if you look at your t's now, 16 minus 5 will be 11. So I'm going to have a 4 on the top with a t to the 11th. And then on the bottom, all that's left will be that 13 squared. So I think that was B, wasn't it? Yep. Well, I just went ahead and did my t's, 16 minus 5.
Yeah.
Since it's positive, it went on top.
Oh,
And then that just left the 13 squared on bottom. Yep. Number 2 is pretty easy one. Everybody ready? Yes, no, maybe? Number 2, all they gave you was an x. What I know about that x is that that's an understood 1x to the first power. So the coefficient is 1 and the degree is 1, which was D, as in daffodil.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, Miss Bryant.
Uh-huh.
Has Amy called Valentina or Austin Harclaw for senior pictures?
Yes, they just left.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
On number 3, we've got subtraction. So it is negative, I'll go ahead and write it all again. Negative 6x to the 4th plus 5x to the 6th. Oh, okay, thank you.
Lacey's going around. Is that
Okay,
somebody pick it up?
thanks. Plus 5x to the 6th minus 5 plus 9x to the 5th. And then you got minus -9 minus 6x to the 5th. 2x to the 6th. Oh, look at what I wrote. 2x to the 6th and 26x. 2x to the 6th. I feel like I need another interruption about right now. Minus 4x to the 4th. Alright, so subtracting. This is like our yesterday's bell ringer, except the stuff is all scrambled up. So we got to look for some like terms. So since this one had negative 6x to the 4th first, I went over here and found the x to the 4th. Negative 6 minus negative 4 is negative 2. So I first off went through the choices and saw which one had a negative 2x to the 4th, and there was only one. So that one would have to be A on that. I can finish it out if you want me to, but that gave me enough information there. Do you need me to go any farther on it?
Coach Wright?
Yes.
I need Kelsey Burke.
Okay.
Thank you.
I knew it was coming. Alright, number 4, identified as a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or none of them. Okay, so it had 11x to the fourth plus 6w third minus 9w minus 4y to the fifth plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So that's past a trinomial. So that would be none of those special names. Then after that, so that could be B or C. After that, it wanted to know the degree. Degree, when it's separate terms like that, it is just your highest power. So that one would have a degree of 5. When do we add powers together to get the degree?
When you're all the same.
Right, when it's not separated by a plus or minus sign. Yep, when they're right next to each other. So that was C, as in call in or call them one more time. That would have been awesome if it would have went off right then. All right, number 5, find the product. Means we're multiplying 2x squared plus 3x plus 5 times x squared plus 2x plus 5. When we did this in class a while back, we talked about we could leave it out long horizontally like that, or we could stack it and do it vertically. Since it was already written out horizontally, I just did it that way on my paper. I've got all my little arrows drawn showing what I was multiplying and everything on my paper. That's how I'm going to do it here. It is, they both have 3 pieces, so I'm going to have to distribute 3 pieces individually. So I just started here with the 2x squared. 2x squared times x squared was 2x to the fourth. 2x squared times 2x was 4x cubed. And then 2x squared times 5 was 10x squared. Okay, so I was done with that 2x squared. So now I took the 3x to all the pieces. So 3x times x squared was 3x cubed. 3x times 2x was 6x squared. And 3x times 5 was 15x. So then I still have that 5 left, so I took it everywhere. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times 5 is 25. I'll send it to you in a minute. I haven't finished it.
I'll come back.
And I'm looking, I've got my like terms all matched up there. So I've got a 2x to the fourth. All of them have that, so I didn't get to eliminate anything there. 4x cubed and 3x cubed is 7x cubed. That's C or D. 10 and 6 is 16 plus 5 is 21. So that would have to be D. Go ahead and finish that up since I just like one more piece. D as in I used one flower already. Daffodil or dandelion, I don't remember which. Daffy Duck. Alright, 6. They are right. 6, we've got 17s to the 9th minus 6s plus 2. Identified as a monomial, binomial, or trinomial, where there are 1, 2, 3 terms, so it's a trinomial, which could be A or D, and then list the degree. My highest power on that is 9, so my degree is 9.
But I thought since they were both x squared, those wouldn't be 2.
No. If the only time you add them together is if this had a minus sign in there. If it's all just one big monomial. So that was D, another D. As in dump truck. Never used that one before, that was a new one. 7 is just combining like terms. You got negative 5p cubes minus 11p cubes. Negative 5 minus 11 is negative 16. They tried to trick you on D, seeing if you knew the exponents stayed the same or not. When you subtract and add, exponents stay the same. So it would be A as an aardvark on number 7. Alright, well, number 8 wants us to multiply that. And n minus 5 times n plus 5. It's called difference of squares. What that is, if you remember from Algebra 1 and 2. Your first gets you n squared, your outer gets you a plus 5n, and your inner gets you a negative 5n. So the 5n's cancel out. Plus 5n and negative 5n cancel out. Your last is negative 25. So that would be A as an antelope. Page 2. Number 9 on page 2. Evaluate 4 to the 0 power. What's anything to the 0 power? 1. You got it. D. As in dreadnought. Alright, 10 didn't show up at all on the test there, and I copied the real test the same day I copied these study guides, so there's going to be stuff that didn't show up on the real test. I'll just have it written on the dry erase board. Remember, I'm going to be in a meeting tomorrow, so just look on I'll have like Form B. I'll probably do it over here on the sideboard where I got a little room. Form B, whatever was missing. Form C, whatever was missing. Form D, whatever was missing. So you'll have it on there. But up there in front of Caleb is number 10, and this is one that we've been talking about. The coefficient on that, 10, a to the 6th, b to the 5th, the coefficient is 10. Okay, so you know it's got to be either B or C. Then the degree, there's no plus or minus sign in this. So this is finally when you add them. So 6 plus 5, it would have a degree.
Coach Wright?
Yes.
Give that, Dixon.
Yes.
I need to be here, please.
Okay. Would have a degree of 11. Is that in the office? So that was C. Number 10 was C. And you might, because that probably, the study guide question, I'll have to erase that probably. So you might want to write that problem down in that blank space on number 10 so you'll know what you did on that in case you want to compare it to one on the test tomorrow, you know what I mean? You might want to write that on there. Alright, number 11. Multiplying again. I got 2x cubed minus x squared plus 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 2. I chose, because I got to distribute, because that's got 4 terms. So I chose to distribute from the back. Some people rewrote it and put the 2x plus 2 in the front. Same thing, that works. I did 2x times 2x cubed. That got me 4x to the 4th. 2x times negative x squared was negative 2x cubed. 2x times 3x is a positive 6x squared. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. Then I had to do the same with the 2. So 2 times 2x cubed was 4x cubed. 2 times negative x squared is negative 2x squared. 2 times 3x is a positive 6x. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Okay, so we got 4x to the 4th. Just looking to see if we could eliminate anything. Oh, there's only one of them that's got 4x to the 4th. I could have quit a long time ago. That one will be C, as in cauliflower. You may keep going. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 6 and negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 2 and 6 is positive 4. And then negative 2. All right, number 12, p plus 8 squared. The only place you could possibly mess up on number 12 is if you just distributed the squared, but that's not what you're supposed to do. You know by now that binomial squared means you write the whole thing twice. So that got you a p squared. I tried to make a p and a squared at the same time. 8p and 8p is a 16p, and then 8 times 8 is 64. Which was B, as in Boomland. Alrighty, 13. Are you ready? 13 gave us f of x is equal to negative 1/9 x squared, and wants to talk about the domain and the range. Remember, if you need to make yourself a note, domain is the x's, that's side to side. Range is the y's, that's up and down. Okay, so I know, and you could type that in your calculator if you needed to, I know that since that's squared, it's a parabola, and since it's negative, it goes down. So I know, and we talked about this, that a parabola up or down goes forever to the left and right. So the domain on that would be negative infinity to infinity. So that only let me eliminate choice D. All the rest of them had that. Okay, the range up and down, if I found the vertex of this, and you could get it by looking at your calculator, so to find the vertex, you start by doing negative b over 2a, ax squared plus bx plus c. This doesn't have a b. So 0 divided by anything is 0. So the x coordinate of the vertex would be 0. Then if I plug that back in for x, 0 times negative 1/9 is also 0. So that thing has a vertex at 0, 0. If we looked at that on a graph, that would be 0, 0. So that means the highest up that goes is to 0. But then it goes down forever. Smaller number goes first, so negative infinity, and then it goes to 0. Which was C. C, as in crazy. Alright, 14. I did it using division. That's how the problem was set up, wanted you to do. You could have used your choices and did multiplication as well, though. It says the area of a rectangle, and you know area equals length times width. The area of a rectangle, 20m squared plus 22m minus 12, equals length times width. So to solve for length, you would divide both sides by 5m minus 2. Okay, that's the way I did it. It's the way I'm going to show you now. It would have to be long division. Other thing you could have done if you forgot how to do long division, take this width, go through the choices and FOIL it and see which one gets you this. Okay, that would have worked as well. Luckily on this one I think it was A, so you didn't have to try very many. The only time that's time consuming is like if it's D. You'd have to try them all the way through there. But long division, we start off by saying 5m times what gets us 20m squared? 4m. So now we distribute a 4m to everything. 4m times 5m is 20m squared. 4m times negative 2 is negative 8m. Subtract, that's nothing. 22 minus negative 8 is 30. Bring down your 12 minus 12. I was looking to see. Yeah, I already know. No, I don't know. Well, I kind of already know the answer because I know this has to be positive. 5m times what is 30m? A positive 6. Distribute that. 6 times 5m is 30m. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Nothing left over, so there's your length. 4m plus 6. Which was A. As in aardvark. Alright. 15. Negative 9z to the 4th minus 6z cubed plus 3z squared plus 9. Monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I made up quadrinomial, but that's not a choice, so it's none of those. And there's only one choice that has it. The highest degree is 4. So that was A. As in alright, alright, alright. Who was that always said that? There we go. Alright, 16. 16. It told me that f of x is 5x minus 4. G of x is negative 9x squared minus 10x plus 10. They ask us to find f plus g of x. So I'm just adding these. Okay, you could write it out if you wanted to. I just went and looked for like terms. I had a 5x and a negative 10x, so 5 plus negative 10 is negative 5. Then I had a negative 4 plus a 10. Negative 4 plus 10 is a positive 6. Then this one has a negative 9x squared. So 0x squared plus negative 9x squared stays negative 9x squared. Which was C. As in cat. Alright, 17 is another function one, but that on 17 I want you to multiply. It says f of x is equal to 4x plus 3. I don't know why I put a parentheses on one end and not the other, because I lost my mind, I reckon. G of x is equal to negative x squared plus 5x plus 8. Alright, you had to look up there in the directions. Some people in 6th period had told me they didn't know what to do on this one. But up there in the directions, it has an F right next to a G. When the F and the G are right next to each other up there, that means multiply. So we're multiplying. We've got a binomial times a trinomial, so I can't do FOIL. I'm just going to distribute the 4x to everything and then the 3 to everything. So that gets me negative 4x cubed, 20x squared, and 32x. And I go with the 3, negative 3x squared, 15x, and 20, whoops, missed the 8, there we go, 24. So that gets me negative 4x cubed. Do I get to eliminate anything? Yeah, it's got to be A or D. Then 20 and negative 3 is a positive 17x squared, so that's got to be D. Finish that out, that's 47x plus 24. $18. You ready? 18, it's got 4.54, scientific notation, times 10 to the negative 4 tells us to write it in standard notation. Since the negative, we're moving it to the left. I move it one time, it's in front of that, so I'm going to have to add some zeros. There would be 2 times, there would be 3 times, so I've got to add another 0, so I need to have behind the decimal 1, 2, 3 zeros, which is C. Good job. Last page. Alright, 19. I got 8 to the 4th times 7 to the 5th, all to the negative 3rd. It says simplify the expression so that no negative exponents appear. So this is this negative 3, that's going to go power to a power, so it's going to multiply there. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And then the same thing here, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. But I still got negative exponents. When I first worked this, you know, my test didn't have the choices either, so I was wanting, I got an answer. Then I went and looked at the original on the computer, and they left them with 8s and 7s, so I had to go back and rework that. Negative powers you put on bottom, and they become positive. So you would just flip it like that, and over there by read, that would be B, as in Boomland. Alright, I didn't realize until I was working through this again this morning that you didn't have directions on number 20. Nobody ever asked me what the directions for number 20 said. You're just putting it said on the actual test in descending order of the powers. I wrote in parentheses out beside that standard form. And I figured that's what y'all guessed to do, so you were right on that. The highest power on that one is the z cubed, so negative 17z cubed would go first.
So that'd be A.
Yep, so that had to be A. You got it. Minus 2z squared plus 3z plus 19. Alright, 21. X to the 4th over x to the 19th. Division, all you do is subtract. 4 minus 19 is negative 15. Negative goes on bottom and becomes positive. D. Alright, 22. It's an easy one because it's a calculator one, but there's lots of buttons to push on it. So let's look at 22. It says the polynomial 0.0047x to the 4th, that whole polynomial, gives the predicted sales volume of a company in millions of items where x is the number of years from now. Determine the predicted sales 18 years from now. So we got to go through that equation and plug an 18 in for all the x's. So when you type that, go ahead.
I just did it in a calculator and y equals, and then
Went to the table, so you didn't have to type that whole x 18. That would be a faster way to do it. That'd be good. What Bailey just said, instead of plugging all the x's in like I was fixing to show you, type the original equation into the y equals, leaving the x in there. and then go down to the table, go to your table and go down to x equals 18. So that would have been a good way to do that too. It was funny when I went over this again this morning, I picked up one of the calculators out of the basket, and it was the last problem that somebody 6th period did in it yesterday, so it was right there at me. So I didn't have to type it all in. Maybe you'll get lucky like that tomorrow. I don't know. B was the answer. Everybody all right getting B on that? Do you need me to go through the calculator with you? You had to round it. It didn't come out exactly to .99. You had to round it. All right, we got 2 scientific notation. Bless you there on 23 and 24. 23, I've got 1.0639 times 10 to the negative 7. So I got to move my decimal point 7 places to the left since it's negative. You move it once, it's there. So I still got 6 more to go. So I got to add. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there needs to be 6 zeros in between the decimal and the 1, which was B. Okay. 24, sometimes those trick me a little bit because the decimal point is in a weird spot to me. It gives you that and asks you to write it in scientific notation. To be in scientific notation, you can only have one number in front of the decimal, so I got to put it after that first 7. So it'll be 7.3732 times 10. How many times did I move it from where it was? Just 2. So that would be it, which was C.
Because you're moving it to the left.
It's back, it's opposite. When you're in, and that's a good point, what Kelsey just said. She said, why wouldn't it be a negative since you're moving to the left? And it's always the opposite. When it's in scientific notation and we move to the left, you're going negative. But when it's in standard notation and you move to the left, you're going positive.
Oh, because when I move it back,
Yes.
move it over to the left.
Alright, last one. For the pair of functions, find the product. So we're multiplying f times g. So 5x plus 3 times negative 4x minus 7. I just got to do FOIL on this one. Give me negative 20x squared. And I stopped there. There's only one of them that has that. Go ahead if you need me to. Negative 35x, negative 12x, minus 21. And then that got you negative 47. Alright, that was it. Let's see. Have that study guide with you. You can use it on your test tomorrow. I'll have the ones that didn't show up written over there on the big dry erase board on the side. Just turn it into the sub when you get done. I have a meeting in Arkadelphia all day tomorrow.
That's right.
Hey.
Can I go to Mr. Wright's class and print off a picture?
Yep.
Thank you.